So next, phones. I love the phones because they have so many opportunities. You got expireds, FSBOs, you got circle prospecting. The beauty of these is that the fortune is in the numbers. Circle prospecting, you're not necessarily following up, although follow-up is always great the moment you make contact, you're following up with those people. But you're not using the same list of 1,000 people every single time, per se. You could be following up, today's list of FSBOs is here. I want to call the people around this home here. Hey, this awesome sale happened here. I'm going to call these 1,000 people. Boom. And people that get good at that craft are the ones who are getting huge amounts of listings and consistently make six figures, well into the six figures. Okay, so here's some highlights as far as the phones go. Skill and experience. You cannot be scared to flub through your first 1,000 calls, but you have to deliberately flub through them, tracking your numbers, tracking your responses, tracking what you're doing, and deliberately tweaking along the way. When you have one success, okay, use that as your baseline. Now we're going to tweak this, see if we can make it better, tweak this, see if we can make it better. Oh, got another result, boom, let's tweak it, make it better. Constantly perfecting your craft. Once you do that, then you really start taking off. So I would say your first 1,000 calls, nothing but tracking. If you get any results, you're doing great. Once you start tracking your numbers, getting better and better and better, let's say you call 100 people deliberately every day, deliberately trying something new and tracking it. Okay? Once you hit that 100 number, see what you can change or make better and then go from there. Pick one and own it. The way to tackle FSBOs is not the way you're going to tackle expireds, which is not going to be the way that you're going to tackle circle prospecting. So deliberately try them, okay? Deliberately do FSBOs and work on it for a couple months. Do your lots of calls. Try experimenting. See what works. If it works, wonderful. If not, move on. Move on anyway. Give it a try to see if you're great when it comes to expireds. FSBOs have a wonderful tactic. Expireds, there's no shortage of expired listings in Maricopa County. So there's no shortage of trying. And then from circle prospecting, that is a limitless supply of leads. So if you could perfect circle prospecting, I would love to hire you. Please give me a call. Okay, so the numbers pertaining to those. Okay, let's see. You've got 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, and 1 out of 5. Okay, so expires based on the numbers I've seen. Realistically, some people use certain tactics that pay off within 2 to 3 months, right? And they're getting a lot of opportunities up front, but it's a several-month pipeline. So, for example, if you do the open house option, they may or may not convert right away, but they're more likely to allow you to do it, and then they're going to possibly come around in a month or so. So that is a great tactic to use. The numbers I've seen, about 1 in 200 pan out. FSBOs, expireds, 1 out of 200 equal the appointment. 1 out of 600 equals the sale, so 18,000 calls for the year, which equates to 1,500 a month, which means expireds, you need to be calling about 360 a week, okay, if you want to sell 30 homes at the end of the year. FSBOs, way better. 1 out of 30 equals the appointment, and 1 out of about 120 equals the sale, so you got 3,600 calls at the end of the year, which is 300 a month, which is only 72 a week. Not too bad. So definitely worth checking out. Circle prospecting. Now, this is the numbers game. If you got an auto dialer and you're good on phones and can sit there for several hours, you'll make a killing. 1 out of 400 calls basically equals appointment, which means 1 out of 2,000 essentially equals a sale. That's 60,000 calls at the end of the year, essentially, for 5,000 a month, which is 1,200 a week. If you can make 1,200 calls a week, you will easily sell at least 30 of those a year. Now, the beauty of all three of these are mainly listings. For every listing you get, you should also get a buyer sale and ideally another listing. So those are almost 2 for a special. So if you actually get 30 of these, that should equal 60 to 90 sales at the end of the year. So, boom, very, very good one. Questions with this one. Are you making enough calls? That's the long and the short of it. Are you making the calls you need to? And then, are you keeping good enough track of your numbers? Because that's the biggest thing. You can make calls for weeks on end and not see a result. So you have to be good at tracking what you're doing and base 2,000 calls and find some sort of tweak and result from those things. So, but very, very good. All right, now on to one of my favorites.